How's it going, coaches? This is part two of play calling in the shotgun wing T offense. Here we are starting off a play behind here. We missed our first play of offense. If you didn't watch part one, this is um, the story behind why we called what we called this season. Okay, what did we see on film from our opponents, and how did we decide to respond based off of that? You'll get the story of what's happening with our players and why we choose to make the decisions that we've made. Hopefully, by watching this series, you'll gain a nugget of something that you can bring back to your high school in your offense. Maybe you like something we did, or learn to not do something that we did, which I do all the time. And so hopefully this is something that we can all learn from and get better as coaches. To start this game, okay, we had identified that this team is a four down front almost exclusively. And we expected to get lots of over front. Um, we expected lots of cover three here, even though there looks like they have a too high shell here. Um, we expected a lot of off coverage, which is good for our big 6'3" receiver. And here he has a really magical game. Um, and we really wanted to emphasize getting the ball to our slot receiver. He's the fastest guy on our football team at this point. And so you'll see us try to put him in a lot of positions to be successful. Here we got a couple moving parts you should be aware of. Here we have a backup tight end in the game. Our starting tight end was battling concussions, and so you'll see some busts out of the tight end here or there. We have a freshman here at wing who is going to get better as the season goes on, but here early in the season, he's still very youthful. And we've taken our starting wing and put him at running back because we're going to miss our running back for the rest of the season. And so you'll see him do some uncharacteristic things here early in the season. It'll get cleaned up as we go throughout the year. But here he's still going to get a little bit confused between his wing rules and now his running back rules. And here on our second down play here that we're starting on is an example of that. This is blue flop. Our slot is over on the strong side, and what we call speed, which takes our wing and puts him on the quick side. And so I think he is confusing speed as his wing word to tell him to switch sides here. He should not be lined up on the strong side of the offense. He should be lined up on the left here, and we're trying to run quick belly with our quarterback. Now here we're going to have this team is notoriously slow at starting football games. We just did some really uncharacteristic mistakes at the beginning of football games, and so that'll be common theme here as we go into our first drive of some football games. Here we bring our slot across, and again our running back is lined up on the wrong side here. And so it's going to be a little bit goofy when he tries to go and lead block for the quarterback on quick belly. But here the quarterback bobbles the ball, falls down. He thinks that he can get the edge, and so he tries to run around here. And this corner does a really good job at run fitting and getting low on his tackle and making a play. That's a heck of a job by the defense right there for the corner coming up and making a tackle. But again, pretty slow start here from our offense. We always say that strong, power, strong belly, and power to the quarterback, quick belly, are splits plays. If you don't have splits, you will not have the space you need in order to run the play. Here we are down on one and out on two, and we're trying to wrap our strong guard and our wing through that space. Okay, now it helps when you have the jet fake here because it makes the end expand a little bit and give you a little bit of space. Here, this is too tight for me. It's very difficult to run through that tight window. Now, our wing does make it through. Our guard looks like he was going to make it through with a little bit of problems here. Okay, but had we been able to get a good fake and quarterback keep right here, I think this would have been a solid play one for us here on this video series. But the bobbled snap here really set us back here in this first clip. Now, going on to the second play here, it's third down and 10. And their DBs were very athletic. We thought they ran well and came and tackled well. and we thought that it would be difficult to outrun their ends in sprint out passing game. And so here on 3rd down and 10, we decided to run counter crisscross. Now, if you're going to run this offense, okay, you will inevitably run into this issue where if you run counter crisscross, you do not want to run it at an end who is explosive and is going to run upfield into the backfield. Okay, it's very difficult. Number one, because your center has to block back on this play. Okay, and your tackle has to be able to check pressure and work back to the end if necessary. And so this guy mugged up here. Our tackle had identified him as a possible threat. And so our center and our tackle have to go 1-for-1 on these two, which means you're just counting on the crisscross action, okay, to hold this guy enough where you can get the ball back to your quick side here. Now, what you'll see, okay, is he runs upfield, okay, and we're a little bit slow on our get off here. And so this end is able to run upfield. Okay, and it's actually the tackle getting beat across his face. Okay, the defense is able to penetrate though on the quick side fast enough to where they can intercept the ball before you hand it on the crisscross action. Okay, so certainly you want your center to block back and your tackle to block the next threat. Okay, I think that we have identified the correct people. Okay, but you certainly want your tackle to get more of a piece of this guy. And honestly, we could have gotten past the end here had we secured the defensive tackle. But a lot of times that end is the guy that runs you down here. But here we try to make the double handoff. We're not able to make it. We fumble it because we're trying to make a double handoff here. And the defense is able to get on it for a huge momentum boost to start their football game. Okay, so now going into the second drive, luckily we got a stop here down on the goal line. So we're starting here on our 5. And we still haven't broke the early game jitters on offense, okay? We're trying to run a concept where we are, okay, this is tackle over for us. So this would be red over. Our X receiver and our quick tackle are over onto the strong side, and we're putting our backup tight end guy on the quick side where he can cut and have to be less of a playmaker at the point of attack. Here we are trying to run a concept where we wanted the running back, okay, because we thought the ends were really wide and were contained guys. We wanted the running back to kick, and we wanted the receiver to come and sell jet because we're trying to set him up for some jet sweeps later in the game. And we thought we could get a big alley running power off of this side. We ended up not being well rehearsed enough at this concept to be good at it. We stopped calling this play as the game goes on. Again, this is just a game plan play for us. Here, the quarterback forgets his motion. Okay, and the wing gets in the way of the guy we really want to kick with the back. Now, we still hit an okay alley here. You would like for your guard not to insert into the double teams gap. Okay, you want him to work his way around the double. Okay, now with the jet motion, okay, this kick happens with a lot more thump, and you want your wing to be working vertical to these backers. Okay, so there's a lot of meat left on the bone here with this play. Okay, but you know how it is when you're an OC, when you want to put in something fancy, okay, you have a very limited amount of time to actually get good at that concept. And so this is something that we ended up having to get away from that I thought could work. And if you had the time to do it, if you had one-way players, okay, it would have been something good for us, but ultimately unsuccessful for us here in this football game. Okay, we come here and try to run just basic buck sweep. I'm not sure what the issue here is on why we didn't move. I'm not sure if they thought it was freeze or if they didn't hear the clap or what the issue is here. Okay, but again, starting very slow this football game, lots of pretty silly mistakes going on. Here you certainly, it's hard to say what this guy is in. Maybe he's in a 3, maybe he's not. Okay, but here with them plugging this inside backer here, okay, that tells us that we need to run some of our other concepts, take advantage of him running downhill. But regardless here, way too passive up front here. You need your guard to pull and wrap through this kick block. Okay, you would love for your tight end to be able to work down to this guy, but with him plugging so fast and at the defensive line's heels, this is a situation where you want to get out of running buck sweep and get into running power concepts or GT concepts where you're pulling your backside guard and tackle instead, so that way you're solid on the front side. Okay, this is how you beat buck sweep. Is by plugging that middle backer really fast, okay, and leaving a 3 technique inside to where your tackle has to stay true to it. Okay, luckily, he's unable to make the play, and we're able to get just enough to where we gained something on the play. All right, we bring a little what we call scar motion. Okay, slot around is scar motion. And we're just trying to get a little counter rotation from their backers. Here you see we get them to misstep a little bit. Okay, is 32 supposed to work quick side? You know, who's to say? But these guys definitely are given hard steps towards the fake. And it's just unfortunate that we're unable to control the snap here. I'm not sure if it snapped in between the quarterback and running back or not. But had our tight end been able to secure a good out block here, which looks like he was on his way to, we could have had something here. Now 35 shows up here late, where he kind of knifes through here. They're really coming after us up front with our pullers. So something we'll have to consider as we go on throughout the game. But again, slow start here. This is something that we got good counter rotation from, and had we been able to insert our guy through and run down the alley, could have been a good football play for us, but unable to get that done because of the off snap there. Again, this is what we're trying to do with our jet motion here. We're down on the goal line here, back super far up. We just wanted quarterback run game to the strong side here. We're trying to take our running back and kick the end and down block everybody up front to stay solid here, just to give the quarterback space for us to punt the football here. As you can see, okay, the ball is fumbled again, still snapping it in between the quarterback and running back. And just a really, really horrendous start. Okay, the quarterback is unable to fall on the ball to force a safety or kick it out of the back of the end zone. But here the ball stays in play, and they're able to fall on it and score a touchdown. So kind of a nightmare setup here if you're the team in black for how to start a football game. But this is kind of a result that you can expect when you start a football game not running concepts that your kids are familiar with. Okay, we decided to be a bit too experimental here. Not that the snap issues are going to get fixed by running more familiar concepts, but I think that had I played this football game again, I would start the game with very, very simple concepts, not new concepts, so that way we could have more confidence going into the start of the football game. Next drive here, we're trying to just be simple now, and we are running buck sweep. Now, they're still plugging these linebackers pretty fast, but again, they're kind of running by the play. Our back's taking a good path across, okay, and the linebackers are unable to knife through and really get to the point of attack here. So overall, pretty well executed. Let's see the pull. Okay, well, the wing needs to try to make a decision. Is this guy inside of you and heavy on the tight end or not? If he's heavy on the tight end, we want him to down block him. If he's loose off of the tight end, we would like for him to bypass and go to 13, okay, this mugged up backer. So here, the wing tries to do both. He tries to get a chip and work to the second level. Okay, pretty bad exchange here by the tight end and wing. We either need to be kicking this guy or we need to stay on him, but we don't want a combination block buck sweep. It's not something that we try to do. Here, our pull kick guy decides that this guy's already blocked and tries to go around here, and that's not what we're trying to do with this concept. Okay, the back does enough to where he gets vertical and gets something out of this, okay, but not as well executed as you would like to see here. This clip starts kind of in the middle here, but we're still just working buck sweep off that edge. And here we hit just a little cutback lane. These ends kind of fly real high upfield here. The back has good vision enough to where he can see the cutback lane and stick his foot in the ground, and is able to run for some decent yards here on a cutback. So not a design here, just a kid making a play. Good job by the quarterback here, really pushing out after his fake. I actually think this is GT. Now that I see the action on the play, I think I have this mislabeled here. I think this is our guard and tackle. We're trying to keep everyone solid on the front side. Yeah, this is our strong guard here, so that way they can't run through on us. And then we try to show some sprint out action from our quarterback and run it more like almost a sprint draw type of concept with our running back. That's how we kind of handle the backside end that we can't block on GT versus four-man front. And so you see the quarterback here really sprinting out afterwards, and it pulls that attraction away and really opens up the cutback lane for the running back here. So good design win on that play. Here, buck sweep. Now, the tight end, to me, this guy is inside the tight end. And maybe it's an angle thing of the film. I would like to see the tight end down block that, okay, and the wing work to the second level. Here, he kind of slants outside here. I'm fine with the wing deciding that this guy was inside the tight end and work tight to the second level. Okay, now a good wing, okay, puts his head across and goes ahead and finishes that down block. Okay, and you can work behind the kick and wrap after that. Okay, we're working with a freshman here at wing, so we gotta play with the cards we're dealt here. And so we end up kicking the end, which is fine. Okay, just a really tight window. Okay, the nose shrugs us off here, beats us at the center spot, and plugs it up for us where we can't get much out of it. Okay, we're able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that is about it. Okay, got a penalty flag right there. Looks like we got a little bit of a hold here. Something going on here on the backside. So now we're at 1st and 20. Why not run power? Okay, looks like we have a little bit of a confusion here on the backside. Looks like the quarterback wanted to pull off of this end. Okay, we tell him that if this guy is a threat to come and tackle the back, that you can pull it off the backside end. And it looks like maybe he predetermined it here a little bit to me. Okay, we did not tag this with peak. Okay, so quarterback here pulls it, realizes, oops, shouldn't have pulled it, and follows the back. Okay, and if you're going to do RPO reads like this, okay, or RRO, run options, you always want to tell your quarterback, if you misread it, follow the back. And you also want to tell your back, if the quarterback ever pulls the ball, okay, to run through the hole and block for him. Here, he realizes the quarterback misreads it. I'm not sure that he's actually blocking for him, okay, but he gets in the way enough where the quarterback can hit the alley that the back should have hit, and he's able to get back to a reasonable location. Now, here the ball does pop out in the end. Okay, and this is the issue when your kids are fighting for yards. Okay, sometimes that ball gets outside of their body and falls to the defense here. Luckily, we're able to get on it. We get a pretty big gain there to get it back to second and reasonable. So is it what we designed there? No, but the quarterback was well coached enough to know to follow the running back if he misreads a pull read like that. And so good job out of that kid. Okay, buck sweep again. Here again, I would like the tight end and wing to decide, is he inside, like, is this a 5, okay, or is this a 9? Okay, if this is a heavy 9, we want the wing to stay on it. Okay, if this is a 5 technique, we want the tight end to stay on it. Here, this is misworked out of these two guys, okay, and we're trying to coach these guys on the fly now. Okay, Rome wasn't built in a day, but we end up having to hit this really tight, and he kind of spills it here. You'd like to see your guard recognize that head on the inside and work around. Here, we try to force it kind of into the alley here, and the running back is able to get something out of it where he kind of bounces it to the outside backer here. The backer's a little bit passive to fit, and so we're able to hit a bit of a seam here on the outside. I think we got a good spot there. Ref gave us a first down. We're not going to argue that. Okay, again, we're doing well with our buck sweep play, even though we're not handling the end well. It's hard to see that, on the sideline as a play caller here. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do on the next play. And so still not handling that end very well, but our down blocks are doing fantastic. I mean, our strong tackle is having a heyday, okay, moving this guy out of there. Okay, now is this his best rep? No, it's just the one that I pointed out. Okay, you'd love for his head to be across this guy's body so he can run his feet. Okay, but he was our best lineman, okay, our best down blocker, and so we identified a skinny guy for him to down block on. Okay, and so that's what we're trying to milk here is our best tackle down blocking a skinnier defensive tackle. Okay, so here, I think this is better served being a play action. Here we're working just a verticals concept. Okay, we have a big outside receiver. We're running the ball well. We wanted to try to throw a vertical ball right here on their side of the field to try to loosen up some of this pressure. Okay, now I believe this is supposed to be play action. Okay, so that way we can work our tight end and wing down the seams here and hopefully get these guys stepping up. Now we don't get the play action out of the quarterback and running back, but at least our running back has made the adjustment from last game, right? Where he's working to the heels of the offensive line to set the pocket. Here, this is very good protection for the quarterback to throw in. This is exactly what you're looking for when you're running 6-man protection. Okay, we take a shot to our big wide receiver, and we don't throw the ball in bounds. Okay, it looks like maybe there was a little bit of contact here, maybe a little bit of a tug, not enough for the referee to call it. Okay, but this gave us enough confidence after we saw the one-on-one that we're going to have success throwing the ball to this guy this week. Okay, this guy's eyes in the backfield. He's real slow pedal. Okay, this is the type of opportunities that this kid is looking for. Okay, this play starts in the middle. There's not much to see here. Okay, it's first down here, it looks like. And we run our power concept here to the right, and we get a good gain of maybe 11 or 12 yards. Not much to go on there. Now we can get into it. Okay, so this is blue over. Again, our tackle is over on the strong side. We're trying to put our tight end back on the quick side where he doesn't have to be as impactful of a blocker, and we're just having him cut the backside end here. Identifying that he's kind of misread some of these buck sweep plays early on. So over and running sword straight ahead. Again, really, really good job by our back here. Really tough running, dragging people. He's a really tough kid. Now he's kind of giving it away here. When he runs power, he wants to run vertical. And so he feels like he needs to stand behind the quarterback. If you're going to run this offense, you need to make sure your backs don't get into this habit where they tell whether they're going to be flat and work across or whether they're going to be deep and work downhill. Okay, the backs will tend to naturally want to do that with their pre-snap footwork, and so this is something that you need to actively coach against. Now here, good job by our quick tackle over here on the strong side, basing him out. Okay, gets enough of him. Good job by our wing coming through. Now he gets shellacked by the backer, okay, but he's at least in the way enough. Okay, our freshman wing gets in the way enough, okay, to spring our guy. Okay, now our guard here, too passive for me, right? Sees this guy at the last second, just throws one hand out and kind of gets a patty cake block. Not really what you're looking for there, but boy, look at this tackle go to work. Okay, he's working his down block. Okay, now they're giving us a shade on the strong side. So we know that we're going to work to the backside backer. He looks to try to get a hand on and then is absolutely pulverizing that kid. Okay, really good guy to run behind. I wish we had him next year. Okay, overall, well-rehearsed run play. Here you want your X receiver to get a block. Okay, he's got to know when the ball is being run to him so that way he can make an impactful play. Okay, quarter change on the other side here. Okay, not trying to reinvent the wheel. We just had an explosive running power. So now we try to run it again. Now they are, I believe we traded the tight end wing here. Okay, when we traded the tight end wing, okay, they got really, really aggressive at running to where we traded to. Okay, so usually you run the tight end wing trade to see if they match your numbers or not. And here they matched our numbers with maximum aggression. If I had to play this game again, what I would do is I would trade let them get super aggressive and work our screen game into this, or work our play action vertical passing game to the tight end wing off of this. We hadn't practiced that very much. Okay, we had just practiced trading and working our run game with this, and so that's something you need to keep in mind if you're going to do this, because some people will just tee off on you when you trade and always run to where you trade. Okay. Here we're working power. Looks like our tight end blocks out, but to the correct guy, I'm not sure. Now here they have 3 guys that are maybe outside of him. Okay, again, over aggressive defense requires screens and passes. Okay, you're not going to run into the teeth of that very often and get what you want out of it. Looks like we went backwards there. What happened? Why are we going backwards? I'm not sure exactly what the call is there, but we're at 2nd and 14 regardless. Now, quarterback here. Looks like we're trying to run. It's a good question. Okay, so our running back here is in charge of kicking the end. Okay, now this is the concept we were trying to run early in the game. We're trying to come back to it here and use our running back to kick the end because he stays really wide, and work off of our down blocks and wrap out of the guard. Again, this is not a productive concept for us. Kids were not good at it in the week that we installed it. Okay, again, we're playing against a team that's being really aggressive up front, not a play call that I would call again, given the situation. Okay, 3rd down and forever, just working verticals here. Okay, it looks like if I am the play caller, okay, and I'm in the quarterback's head, okay, with all these guys mugged up around the line of scrimmage, okay, I would tempo, okay, so meaning my eyes are there during my drop, I would tempo the tight end wing, okay, and if I see one of these guys flash open, okay, like really they both do, okay, I'm trying to hit the ball into the seam away from the safety. The safety here is working out. Okay, I would love to see the quarterback bang this tight end over the middle here. Now, what he is doing a good job of is he knows he has a mismatch. Okay, our big 6'3" receiver center on the basketball team versus a smaller DB. Okay, this is our playmaker in a one-on-one. Okay, on 3rd and long. So our quarterback looks the safety off to the left. Okay, and is able to come back to the right. Okay, and under pressure, throw a good ball here to our guy. Okay, who ends up making a really difficult catch in traffic. And so these one-on-one balls, okay, that are against off coverage, okay, we're okay with, because our guy is he's a jump ball guy. Okay, he's a one-on-one nightmare trying to defend vertical balls against. Okay, now we would like to see our running back in 6-man protection. Okay, ID1, ID2, running back has whoever number 3 is. So you would like to see him add in here on this pressure. Okay, it looks like maybe he had his eyes here. But they're bringing 4 to a side. Okay, they're going to run through regardless in 6-man protection. And so it's a really good job by our quarterback getting rid of the ball there to our playmaker and scoring a touchdown. Okay, here, 2-point conversion. Still very... Freshman doesn't really know exactly what we're trying to get out of this. Okay, he comes across very lackadaisical like. Okay, it looks like the quarterback and running back decided to switch responsibilities here. Our quarterback standing at running back, our running back standing at quarterback. This is not something we've practiced. And we try to run a quarterback sweep here, quick side. Okay, this is not how he blocked it. Okay, this is some type of miscommunication. Sometimes, you call play 15 and half the players run play 50 instead of 15. Okay, this is what this looks like to me. It looks like some players are running one play and some players are running another. Okay, to me, it looks like our scoop blocks are working to the right here, and we wanted to run the ball this way. But our receivers are maybe on the wrong side. It's very difficult to say exactly what's going on here, but this is not the play called from the sheet here. All right, here we're trying to get our slot, who's our fastest player, the ball on the perimeter. Okay, we're trying to take our running back here and base out the end. Now, again, they are kind of on the quick side here, just teeing off against us and being super aggressive. And so IDing the correct guy for the back is pretty difficult here. We would like to see him work here and have the jet motion handle that, because we're going to plan to jet and cut off of it. But here it's pretty ugly. Okay, the jet guy does get the ball. We do get a good hard cut and get a seam in there where we wanted. This is what we thought we would get out of the play, as far as being able to show jet motion, the end expanding really wide, and us having an opportunity to cut it and get vertical for some good yardage. This is one of the only productive times we ran this concept. Not something that I would do again, and something we didn't attempt to do the rest of the season. All right, second down. We are in a speed set, so this is something that we passed the ball a lot of this year, where we got into flop to bring our slot to the strong side and speed to bring our wing to the quick side. Okay, this is our broke man's version of 2x2 formation. And so this is just a little bit of a tendency breaker here on second down of running buck sweep to the 3-man service here. Now, your tight end does not need to touch the kick man. Okay, he needs to work a down block. Okay, so he needs to check the end slanting into the C gap and work to the backside backer if it's not there. Not well executed by our tight end. He's blocking out on the kick man. And so this is the reason why we end up going with a lot of oversets later in the season. So that way we have very clear defined pictures at the point of attack. We're able to get a real down block, a real kick, and a real wrap, okay, and get our back down the alley here. That's what we're looking to get. Unable to get it on this one. All right, come back and run it the other way. Play kind of starts in the middle here. Not a lot you can see to go off of. Looks like it's still second down. Looks like we got a holding call right there on this previous play. So still trying to find something productive here. Modest gain there. Now it's third and long. Not trying to have any terrible plays happen in our own end zone here on our own 18-yard line. Don't want to throw an interception here, so we're trying to be very conservative. Maybe you hit a crease here. Maybe you just get some extra room to punt the ball here, but very conservative play call to run power. Again, if you're going to run power, where you base the tight end out, you lock the guard on 1 and the tackle on 2, there's got to be some communication up front. And so we make the tight end make a call whether number 2 is the man he's going to base out or not. Okay, if 2 is outside of the tight end, the tackle knows he's going to stay in to double a 3 or work to a backside backer. If 2 is inside of him, then the tackle needs to stay on 2. Here, the tight end decides he needs to base out. Okay, and so the tackle needs to stay in on the double to work to the backside backer. Our center gets beat just a little bit right there, but it opens up enough of an alley to where our quick guard decides he needs to insert there. Had we got a good clean block, we may have been able to get something here. Okay, had our outside receiver got a good block, our quick guard got a good block. Okay, we could have hit the seam right there on the cutback. Again, this team's DBs were very, very solid at putting their foot in the ground and coming to stop run plays. And so even though he misses a little bit right here, it's enough to where it creates a situation where we get stopped here when we had a good crease. All right, so you saw it in the last video. Our outside receiver is a jump ball guy. We want our speedy slot to get the ball on our quick perimeter screen game. And so we had just done this once, so we felt okay doing it another time where we flip these guys to throw the ball out here to a quick perimeter screen. Let's see what we got here. Okay, it looks like we have a good setup here. Okay, we have our fast guy one-on-one versus a corner. Now their corners are relatively good at coming up and making tackles here. Okay, but this is something you need to do to make the defense run sideline to sideline. Okay, if you're letting these guys just tee off running vertical at you, okay, it's very difficult to make your buck sweep and power game work for you. So this is just something to make the defense stop their feet for just a second and say the ball could hit the perimeter. Okay, now this is a forward throw. Okay, and we had a problem this game with our referee believing that we were throwing the ball backwards. Okay, now it's close. Okay, but this is a forward throw that we don't catch here. Okay, we'd love to be able to catch and get the one-on-one with the corner. Okay, but we drop it, and the referee decides that that's a live ball, and we end up taking a big loss there on first down when you're doing things well in the run game. So unfortunate calls here, but that's just the way it goes. Okay, come back to it. Now I think our slot is standing way too far off the ball. Okay, you'd like to see him even with the wing here, probably. Not sure that he's real locked in on where the ball is. Okay, but here we're just running buck sweep. This play is mislabeled. Okay, this is buck sweep. Again, tight end probably misplaying the end here. Okay, but at least he doesn't get in the way of him to where we can get a good kick and a good wrap out of it. Okay, is this the sexiest play in the world? No, it is not. Okay, you'd love for your wing to step up and make an impactful block, and your guard to step up and make an impactful block and be able to split this. But this is kind of what the average play looks like in this offense. Okay, it gets a little bit muddy at times. Third down and 10. Okay, now third down and 12. And they play us really tight. And so we threw a touchdown pass to this guy earlier in a one-on-one. So now third down, we see man-free coverage. We are trying to take advantage of a double move here. We threw lots of hitches last week because of the off coverage. And so now we call hitch and go in a situation where it is really good. So here we get just a little eyes in the backfield and take the vertical shot here. Our cameraman doesn't follow the ball, but our receiver makes a heck of a catch over the outside shoulder, makes another guy miss, and is able to score a touchdown here on a really awesome play, big highlight play. It's a shame we didn't get more of a video of it. Okay, but really good job there by our quarterback delivering the ball. Okay, he looks his eyes away and comes back to his playmakers. Now, I would love for him to work vertical into the pocket instead of hanging out at this depth. Okay, this is very difficult for the tackles to handle whenever they ends running upfield like they do. But it looks like we do give up some pressure here from the guard anyways. And so maybe it's better just on this particular play that he did sit back at depth here on his drop. A 2-point conversion play here. We have the backup running back in. We come and run power. It's like our guard here gets a little bit of a late start, but is able to get just enough of a punch to where we can have the momentum to get in for the 2-point conversion here. Little bit ugly of a trade between the tight end and wing on the out block and the vertical insert of your wing. But again, the play side back kind of runs himself out of the play here by running into the trash of the gap hinge. And so we're able to get in. Okay, next drive here. Looks like we're starting on third down again. Our camera guy must have went to the concession stand. We get our face crossed by the end here. Okay, you really want your tight end to step to the V of the neck and use his hips, okay, to stop the guy from crossing your face into the hole. Okay, he can beat you this way, and it doesn't matter. Okay, it matters that he doesn't beat you inside here, and our tight end still hasn't quite gotten good at that. Okay, with this guy on tight alignment, I would like to see him with his right foot step vertical and then use his body as a wall to wall him out. Okay, not quite what we get here. Okay, we kind of just get a stand up and a little bit of a punch, and that guy's able to use his hands and shed us there. Again, more tackle over stuff I would suggest for if you get a tight end that are having these types of struggles here. Had that out block been good, I mean, we have a really good crease here to run off of behind a pulling guard and an inserting guy. You certainly want to see your wing be able to make the trip inside of the tight end. Here, he's trying to insert into the C gap. Okay, a little bit of a stutter in his footwork that I don't like. I would like to see his first step be to gain grass into the hole and work in there quick. Again, just good hard running by the back to get something out of this. Looks like he hits a little bit of a cutback seam on third down here. Could we have thrown the ball here? Yes, absolutely. You know, they're giving us too high now because we've thrown 2 bombs to this guy and they're playing with leverage out here to him. And so in our own territory, okay, 24-yard line, still being relatively conservative with the play calling here, knowing that we can still come back to this guy later in the game. Okay, not sure exactly, but magically the chains go from third down and 6 to 2nd and 2. So who's to say what happened there? But we're back on the drive again. And it looks like the quarterback has his eyes on the backside end. We're telling him that if this guy's really turning his shoulders hard to chase the back, that he can pull it. And it looks like the quarterback decides to pull it here, but he doesn't really commit to forcing the edge. Okay, so again, new quarterback. This is something that he hasn't done a lot of live reps in the game. Decided that he needed to pull it. Okay, you'd love to see him stretch to the perimeter right here behind these guys blocking for him. He ends up kind of cutting it back to follow the back, which again, if you tell your quarterback that he misreads it, he needs to follow the running back. So he ends up getting vertical through the back. The hole could have, and the running back could have been in, and is able to make a good play regardless off of the misdirection of the quarterback pulling it. Really tremendous effort here by this guy to slip some blocks and to gain some good yardage. Ball does pop out here at the end, but goes out of bounds. No harm, no foul there. Here we are again working our concept to where we are taking the back and basing out on the end with the back and trying to wrap inside with power with our backside guard. Here it just doesn't hit quite like we thought it would hit. The back needs to be much tighter and vertical to block this guy out. Just didn't get good enough at that in the week to actually run it in the game like you wanted. Now, had we been able to make that kick, okay, it looks like there's a good wall right there, but you'd love for your tight end to identify that this is power. He's going to pull. This needs to be the guy that I cut. And your center needs to know that we don't want to block strong side A gap on power. Okay, we'd rather block backside and tell the tight end to work out with your call. So that way, this is the cut man. The center decides to tell the tight end to work down, which I don't believe is the correct call here on this concept. Again, not something I would do again if I had the chance to redo this game plan. Okay, third down and short. Power's been really good to us all game. Now, the tight end decides that this is the man to block out on, and I'd say by his role, he's correct. Okay, block the first man outside. Okay, the tackle does a really good job of sealing the guy outside of him. Guard gets a little bit of a late start here, and maybe he's trying to decide if this is odd front or not. Looks like maybe we have a head up nose to where he would be 1 and the tackle would have 2. Looks like maybe the quarterback snapped the ball during communication, which happens sometimes with a new quarterback. But in odd front, you want your guard to stay down and your tackle to work out and your tight end to work out here. And you need to sift through with your wing to wherever the open gap is, okay, to the inside backer, okay, whoever shows up in that alley. Here, not a very clean blocked play. And we get, again, another bad snap. Okay, a bugaboo that really got us this game. Plays were blocked well. Okay, they weren't explosive run plays for the most part, but they were blocked good enough where you could be consistent in moving the football. Okay, but here, bad snap, wide left, defense is able to fall on it. We marched a long way down, and it's tough to turn it over here on the 22-yard line. Okay. Just a few plays later, okay, we got the ball back. Looks like maybe we got a turnover or something, but now we're back in our own territory. And we decide to work vertical passing here. So let's see how it goes. Now, tackle. Okay, you really want to, if he's on your outside shoulder, keep him on your outside shoulder, right? You don't want to give up this counter back inside. Okay, it looks like maybe he should have kept his hips square for a step longer. Okay, he turns his hips to face this guy like we all know we don't want, and we're able to get beat across our face here. So, not great technique out of this guy. You want to keep that guy a little bit more square. Again, I could say the same thing about my guard. Okay, my guard takes a pretty lazy set to where this guy really gets the edge on him. You really want him to set stripe to stripe, where you cut off immediate penetration and then lock on the quick side. I'm sorry, it should be strong slide. So you really want him to be able to cut off that gap with a lot more force. Regardless, our quarterback here is able to get the ball off. Okay, he throws the ball to our fast slot guy, and he makes a really good catch in one-on-one right here. Okay, this is a play that's well covered. We called this with the idea that these backers have been really aggressive, and we might be able to work the ball into the seams here, into this void. Now our reserve tight end here needs to work back to this hash, and our wing needs to work down this hash. Okay, but our quarterback knows who his playmakers are and is able to get the ball to our slot here. And he makes a heck of an adjustment to the ball and makes a really good catch for us. Okay, come through and run hitches. Now, the DBs are playing a little bit tighter here than we had previously seen. Okay, they catch us in a man-free look or maybe a cover three with the way this corner's bailing. Now, could the corner bang this outside hitch? Probably on the outside shoulder. Okay, is there enough leverage to the outside receiver to throw a hitch? Probably, but probably a really long throw for this kid. So good job by him going and finding his back here. And that's really the wing. We have our running back in a wing position right here because he's a really reliable catcher. Quarterback knows where his matchups are. He gets the ball to a guy who he knows will catch the ball and make something happen. He's able to shrug off one and get vertical here on first down. And so you got to commend your quarterback when he knows where his matchups are. Second down and 1. Okay, here we're just working a quarterback sweep concept, okay, or jet concept to the quick side. I'm not in love with the way that we attack here on the outside edge to get the outside shoulder here. I think the quarterback needs to hit this with a little bit more width, almost like it's sprint out pass. I think that leads to better angles when you're running outside zone to your quick side. But here, quarterback's just a little hesitant, but still hits the seam. Overall, I don't think this looks well rehearsed. This is not what we want out of it. Okay, you'd love for your running back again to get an impactful block on this guy. Okay, but here, certainly good enough. Okay, here we try to run our outside zone to the wing. Now again, we're playing two running backs. Okay, we took our freshman wing out, stand on the sideline. We have our backup running back in and our starting running back who used to play wing. Okay, is supposed to be lined up at wing. Now he's on the wrong side here. I think that he heard the wrong play, and so he's running the wrong direction here. Had we been able to make the correct call where the slot blocks out on this loose end and run the wing across here, okay, this could have been something good into our boundary. But again, poor communication between our quick tackle and our slot on a tight call where the tackle is going to handle him one-on-one, or a loose call where he's going to work up to backer and we want to go down with the slot. Regardless, it's never going to work if your wing lines up on the strong side here. So something that your quarterback needs to see pre-snap. Okay, if you're running jet sweep and he's lined up on the side that he needs to run the ball to, okay, you got to take control. And so this quarterback had moments where he was able to take control and get guys in the right spot here. This is something that certainly our coaching staff needs to be aware of and make sure we get a line pre-snap here. But when you try to move guys around to spots they aren't normally at, this is the kind of goofy stuff you get in pursuit of getting the perfect play. And so sometimes just doing things that are well rehearsed, doing things that your kids know how to execute and they can do it over and over again in their sleep, a lot of times that's better than trying to move guys around to get in the perfect concept, if you will. And toss it forward. Never going to get anything off of that. Here, we're running power. Okay, again, communication. Okay, in an even front, you want to run power where the guard blocks one and your center blocks backside. Okay, where you can take your backside tackle. Okay, it's our tight end in this picture because it's tackle over. But where you can go 1-for-1 on the backside here. Okay, poor communication by the center. He works to the strong side, and we end up not being able to go 1-for-1 on the backside here. Now, quarterback in the perfect world might recognize this and be able to pull it off of this guy. Looks like we have to reach a little bit for the snap here, and so our eyes are kind of off of our read. But certainly a situation where you have the guys to block this. Okay, and on the front side, it looks good. Okay, you're going to run down an alley right here where your back can get behind it. But this poor snap and lack of communication here from your center led to a negative play. All right, third down and forever. We're down by a couple scores here. We fumbled the ball twice and gave them a touchdown by fumbling in our own end zone. We feel like at this point that we have only stopped ourselves and they haven't stopped us. And so we really, really, really want to convert this third and long. Okay, we pull out a reverse here on third and long. We did this by taking the X receiver and making him really tight to handle that loose five. And we are running just power blocking. Okay, we're basing out and wrapping inside and having a fake with our running back. And we are just running the slot around behind the quarterback here. And you'll see kind of what that looks like. When teams are aggressive, okay, they have to be aggressive immediately. And so when you see this and you're an aggressive defense, okay, it makes them commit resources, okay, to your fake. Okay, so here we catch them being very aggressive and we're able to pitch the ball backwards here to get the ball to our speedy slot. Okay, now against this team, okay, these DBs usually make a play right here. Okay, these guys are really aggressive. They come and stop the run. Okay, but we identified our fastest kid, our kid that can make a play in space. And on third and long, whenever you need a play to be made, you go to your playmaker is not necessarily the best play. Okay, we decided this was our playmaker here on this play to get the ball in his hands and make somebody miss. He's able to make 2 miss right here and score a touchdown for us and a really, really important drive in the football game. And so, man, this is a situation where we were really, really proud of this kid to be able to get the ball in space, make guys miss, and go score. Okay, love that play. Okay, here we try to come back and run jet. Okay, jet on the goal line, I feel like is a good play whenever teams are really committed to running their backers inside. To me, there are a few ways to handle over aggressive defense. Number one is to run around the pressure. Okay, number two is to screen the pressure. And number three is to throw the ball to beat the pressure. And so this is an example of us trying to run around pressure. And to me, it's imagined pressure. There's not enough pressure here to really warrant jet sweep. But you would like to see your wing seal the outside shoulder, okay, and be able to run your running back into the alley here that's created from your receivers. Okay, we hit this one pretty tight. Okay, it looks like the running back takes us in here. You really want your quick guard to stay down on one and your Looks like we don't get a pull out. Oh no, this is a jet sweep, so there's no pullers here. But it looks like we could have made an impactful block on this guy, whether from the running back or whether from the guard here, seeing this guy scrape across. Regardless, unable to get it in. Okay, well, looks like we do poke it right over the end zone, but maybe didn't deserve that one necessarily. Okay, we are showing some jet sweep action here, so we can run some GT counter back the other way. We do a lot of passing game off of motion, okay, and sending this guy to the flat. And so we're trying to just create some counter steps here, create some missteps by the backers, so that way we can run some GT back the other way. Here it looks like the back again is lined up. No, back's lined up on the correct side here, but you want your back to work out and back to the quarterback. And here it looks like he just got a little bit confused here. Looks like he's working out instead of coming back. The quarterback does a good job of realizing that the running back ain't coming to him, so he goes and runs the run play here. And not well executed, right? The tight end needs to work down, and we want to kick the end man on the line of scrimmage here. That isn't end up how it ends up working out, so it's very muddy. Okay, good job of the quarterback running his feet and getting something out of this, but not well executed by our guys here on this one. Okay, coming to run buck sweep, trying to run something that's a little bit more consistent for us. Again, high snap. We always tell the quarterback that if it's a bad snap, don't force it in there. It looks like, again, he wants to pull this ball. He sees somebody pressuring after the back and wants to pull it. Now, I don't think this is the correct call here. Okay, I think the center is on him enough to where the back still beats him into the alley. But regardless, I think that I think the quarterback should be handing the ball off. So here, I definitely think that this is a situation where the tight end needs to call that number 2 is inside of him. Okay, if he's going to block out, and that's his rule, he needs to say 2 in. Okay, so that way he works out to 31. And the tackle knows, okay, that he's got to handle 2 now, because 2 is inside the tight end. So we would be out, and run this ball possibly into the A gap right here, depending on where the cushion is. Here, the tight end just kind of works a down block. Oh no, this is buck sweep. So he should be working a down block. I'm fine with that, but he just needs to stay on the down block. Okay, the wing here needs to see that this guy makes it over the down block and to continue the down block. And here we kind of combination block it, which we don't want to do on buck sweep. And they're able to get to us back here. Now we're able to just find a bit of a seam right there with our quarterback to get the first down here. But again, this is not well done by your tight end and wing. You want the tight end to stay on this down block. And even if he did slant outside of your tight end, you want your wing to take over the down block. And you don't want this space between your tight end and wing. Okay, that space is no good. Okay, you've really got to work with your wings in this offense of when you run buck sweep to take your foot towards the tight end and work it to his butt cheek, okay, and really make there be no space in between you and him, and take whatever shows up off of that butt. Here, 12 is on that hip that I want to be on, so I should continue this block, and we'll work around you. Ugly play, but it works enough. Okay, now we're getting some more off coverage. Eyes are getting in the backfield a little bit here. Okay, we come out and run some hitches. Okay, I think the quarterback misses this one. Okay, we're trying to get the ball to our slot, it looks like. I don't know that that's the best leverage advantage. Looks like this guy is a good bit tighter than this guy. Okay, but again, made a good play for us earlier. Okay, it's a good hitch runner. He has a good change of direction. Okay, so quarterback gets the ball out. What I would say is a little bit slow here. You don't really want him to take a hot drop whenever you're looking at mugged backers and press coverage. Okay, you really want him to get the ball out now. Okay, but regardless, the quarterback's able to get it off, and it's just a little off target here. Okay, receiver maybe could have made a diving catch, but unable to do so. Okay, we try to run a little bit of a peak concept here, And it's hard to say exactly what's going on because the play starts in the middle here. It looks like the quarterback had a window maybe to throw the ball into, but it looks like the timing is just a little bit off. If you're the quarterback, I would say that this guy's body presence tells me to hand the ball off. And you got to live with that if you're a play caller. When you call your RPO throws off of the quick side inside backer, okay, you've got to know that when you call it, the quarterback's probably going to pull it and throw it. Okay, or if you call a run option, the quarterback's probably going to pull it and run it. And so this is a situation where I think the quarterback should have handed the ball off. But at the same time here, looks like maybe he did have a window he could have fit this into. Okay, looks like somebody runs through here, whoever 49 is, and blows this thing up. Okay, pretty ugly executed play there. Okay, here we're just working verticals again. Again, with these guys pretty tight to the line of scrimmage, I would like our quarterback to tempo the tight end wing. Okay, see if we get a run through here into the alley. Okay, these backers hold it a bit of depth. Okay, so I'm fine with him working off of it. Now, what he is doing a good job of is he's identified press coverage. Okay, with the safety off the hash over here. Okay, and he's working to our big 6'3" receiver. Okay, so I'm fine with our quarterback identifying press coverage, safety off the hash, and on the play. Okay, he is eyes to our big receiver. So he comes back to our fast slot and throws a good ball here. Now it's a little underthrown, okay, but they contact us before the play here, and we ended up picking up a pass interference on it. So overall, okay, I think this is a good job by our quarterback recognizing the situation. Okay, logic says throw the ball to the 6'3" guy on the vertical. We've been doing it. Okay, this guy's cheated over just a bit and working over on the drop, and so he comes through and throws his vertical to the slot. I'm happy with that decision out of him. All right, again, we are working verticals here. I think we found something here with being able to throw the ball vertical against them. Now, the defense does counter by going too high now. So this is a situation where I feel like I wish we didn't call verticals against this look. Now, we're running 5-man pass protection. Okay, so our tackle has got to set to the end. Okay, our guard has got to set to the defensive tackle here. Okay, our center has got to work into the A gap. It's a 3-man slide strong. Okay, and we're playing man on the backside. 1, 2, and the running back, whoever has 3 is if somebody comes. Here, our guard undersets a little bit, and this is the second time he's done this in protection, where he undersets the defensive tackle. Doesn't get a good stripe to stripe set into the B gap here, and are able to get pressure pretty fast on us. So here they end up picking up the sack here. I think the ball does come out. Quarterback just kind of throws it up to nobody. Okay, the coaching point here obviously is to take the sack. Okay, on 1st and 10, you live to fight another day if you take a sack. If you throw it to the defense, it could be really ugly for you if they get that clean block right there. Luckily, nothing too bad happened on that, and we live to fight again. Okay, now our wing, again, he's trying to decide whether he's supposed to be faking jet motion or whether he's supposed to be working across. So he's kind of doing neither and just kind of floating in the middle and then setting up. This is not something that we want him to do, but that's freshmen are going to do freshman things. Here we wanted him to set into the B gap, and we wanted to run vertical through the A gap player and the 5 technique. Now it looks like they're playing the big boy kind of in a 3 on the backside, which isn't something we had seen on film. So it's a little bit muddy here. Definitely should have made it into the A gap. But looks like we're trying to brute force it a little bit into the B. Quarterback here makes a good cut. Okay, you'd like to see your tight end get his hips inside and cut him off from being able to cross your face into where the ball's going. But overall here, the quarterback is able to make a move and run his feet and make something out of nothing. And so those are the kids that you love to coach, because even when the play call isn't great, even when it's not executed like you want it to be executed, or it's not the defense isn't presenting what they presented on film. That he's able to do something whenever it's unexpected. So great job, good hard running out of that guy, and we got a face mask there. So really, really important play for us. Okay, so here we're running our jailbreak screen. We're trying to get the ball to our slot again. Again, they're giving us some off coverage, and so we're trying to get the ball in the perimeter, make them play sideline to sideline. Here, our back does a good job of working across to sell his fake. It looks like had we been able to get the ball off here, that we would have a good alley to get through when we release these guys vertical. But again, bad snap here. It's a common theme of the early part of our season of bobbling snaps. Okay, I think maybe this one's just bobbled. But we both bobbled snaps and had bad snaps, which is a terrible combination. Again, center, first year, quarterback, first year as a quarterback. And so those kind of things are going to happen when you're going through your growing pains here. Play that would have been well done here, given the right circumstance. Okay, working our sweep play. Again, this was never good to us. Okay, we had the one time where we were actually able to hit it. We got good down blocks, and we were able to hit our cutback like we saw on film. I think this is the last time we try it here. Okay, never really got out of this what we wanted to get out of it. Quarterback is unable to fall on the ball here. Looks like there was a little bit of miscommunication here on whether we were going to hand it off or keep it. Okay, I would like for this guy just to run full speed, and if the quarterback is unable to get you the ball, just know that he's going to follow you. Okay, that's the coaching point on this, is if it's a bad snap, the quarterback's going to keep it and run the run play. Okay, pretty ugly setup right there. Okay, we get beat backside pretty bad, and the timing is just all off. We're unable to get our down blocks onto this guy here. Not at all what we were looking for. Okay, third down and forever. Okay, we're trying to get just half here. So we're rolling the quarterback out to the right, which is his dominant hand, and trying to run some comebacks. Now, I do think this is a pretty poor comeback by our big receiver here. We would love to see him work away from the DB to try to set up a good throwing window. Okay, this guy does a decent job of expanding with the quarterback to get into the flat here. But I think had we come out of this with some good change of direction and came back to the sideline, that we have this set up a lot better for us. Now, when you're doing this, okay, you also want to do the same thing with this guy. Okay, we're trying to run comebacks to where if this guy worked out, we could settle in this void afterwards. Okay, here, because we don't really come back to the play here, that it's very muddy for our quarterback, and so he just ends up running it here and getting something on third and forever. Okay, now we're down in this game. No point to punt the ball here, so we just go to take a vertical shot to our playmakers. Okay, the vertical passing game has been good to us. Again, the cameraman here doesn't quite catch the action, but we're running just a little fade out concept. We got, I guess, a good matchup here to our slot. It's hard to say exactly what the quarterback saw here, but he ends up making a really good catch and gets tackled down at the 1 yard line. So he ran past the DB. Hard to say what type of leverage he got. It couldn't have been great if he's not in the picture, but on fourth and forever, quarterback's got to know to go to his playmakers, and so he must have thought that this guy had too much attention, the 6'3" guy, and so he goes to his slot, the fast guy, and he's able to make a good play for our football team when we need it. So great play by him again, and a really good throw that it's kind of missed by the cameraman. Okay, first and goal here. We're trying to run with a little bit of tempo, so you can see people still trying to get set and communicate here. We tempo and get a walk-in touchdown. This is something that I wish we had done a little bit more throughout the season. We had game planned for whenever we got an explosive run or explosive pass to have a quick tempo call, just a very base play to catch the defense in transition or maybe trying to sub. And so we did this here on first and goal from the 1 and got a walk-in touchdown. So I definitely think that's worth practicing. It's a good situation to find yourself in, and something that I'll look to do more in my future seasons calling football plays. All right, going for two here. We got a walk-in touchdown on the last one, so we say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and so we run it again. Here I think we're a little gassed. Okay, we get a fantastic double team out of our tackle and guard here. We get a good seal from our center, and so we have a heck of a void here to run into. Our wing here doesn't really feel this guy, but gets enough of a punch to where we can hit it into the end zone. Okay, now the backer does show up pretty quick here for our guard, but again, just happens really quick on the goal line, and so we're able to punch it in off of the insert guys. Okay, play starts late. Okay, and on second down, but here we're running just our power to the left side here. Not a lot to see. It looks like our out block, he crosses our face here. Definitely need our hips turned to wall off. But again, still a reasonable gain there on second down. And then we come back with a little buck sweep. Let's see if it's handled a little bit better. Still not handled very well from our tight end and wing. We end up with our wing on him in poor body position to really seal the outside edge. Looks like we just got lucky there that the back is able to navigate that block. We're unable to really make a kick out there because this guy's more athletic than us. And our wrap ends up hitting kind of inside the wings down block. So get enough of of something there from our guard to spring a first down, but not what you want that to look like. Okay. Running buck sweep again here into the boundary. Again, we don't want a combination block from our tight end and wing on the end. Yeah, I know I've said that a lot. Okay, we'd never want to chip and work to the second level. Okay, that's not what we do. Okay, it makes too much of a muddy picture for your pull kick guy to decide whether he's supposed to be on that or not. Okay, we want our wing to be really tight, and if he wants to slant outside of us for the wing to handle it on the down block. Here, our tight end decides to chip instead of bypassing this guy. And so it gets kind of muddy. Now our wing does do a good job of being tight to the down block and staying on it to where we can run him by and run the ball around you. Okay, so this is a much better job by our wing. We're probably on the sideline coaching that guy up, telling him to be tighter on buck sweep. And so this is more well executed. Okay, good job here to be able to get 9 yards here late in the football game. And that ended up being the last play of the football game. This was one of our best football games of throwing the ball vertically. We had good matchups where we had aggressive DBs who like to tackle against the run. So we were able to hit our receivers running vertical. Again, center and quarterback exchange is very, very important. We had cleaned up some of the fumble issues we had early in the season in this football game. But again, bobbled snaps and missed snaps will beat you all the time. So I think this football game was relatively well executed given the circumstances. However, there's still plenty to clean up here, and things that I've certainly done differently with our game plan run play, where we took our running back to base out on the ends. That was not good for us. Hopefully you found something in this video that you like, or maybe a nugget that you can bring back to your school. Thank you very much. Have a good day, coaches.